What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, TV shows, and even sometimes stand-up specials. And you always have that friend. Everybody has that friend who says, I discovered this person before they were popular. When I was young, I remember my friend came to me and he played Spice Girls Wannabe for me. And he said, you wait, this group's going to be huge. And I was like, no way, this is ridiculous. Well, they were huge. And he kept on telling me, I discovered them first. I discovered them first. Even though neither one of us were really huge fans of them, of the Spice Girls, it was funny because even though he wasn't someone who would put the Spice Girls CD in his car and jam out to it, he still had this feeling they were going to be big. And he kept telling me, these girls are going to be big. This is going to be a big group. So you always have that person who knew someone was going to be big before they were big. And now I'm that person because probably about 2 years ago, I remember telling people, Taylor Tomlinson's hilarious. Taylor Tomlinson's going to be big. You wait, Taylor Tomlinson's going to hit big. Wait, guys, you just wait for this. Taylor Tomlinson, she's hilarious. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. She's going to be huge. And I remember I saw some of her comedy on YouTube, and I think I saw a little bit on TikTok. But I remember telling people she's hilarious. She's gonna be a big comedian, and everybody's like, "Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?" So fast forward to now, she's got a gig on on the late night show, and obviously some Netflix specials now. And I'm that guy now who's like, hey, remember I told you Taylor Tomlinson was gonna be huge? Remember that? Remember when I said that? So there's a little bit of, you take a little bit of pride in someone else's work when you called them being big before they were. I really enjoyed her last Netflix special. But this most recent one, it was funny. It was funny, and I enjoyed it because I really enjoy her as a comedian. I think she needs to get into some new stuff, though. This, for me, it was a lot of stuff that she's done before, recycled, repackaged, and put out in a new dress. Put out in new clothing. Talking about her challenges growing up in a religious household, talking about her dating life. This is all ground that she's tread very extensively already. Self-depreciating humor, it's something that Taylor's big into, and there's a lot more of that in this special. And again, I feel like I'd like to see her branch out and start trying out some new material. And I get it. The material in this new special, it was a lot of new jokes, but it was familiar jokes because it was all jokes that we've heard her, it was all topics that we've heard her joke about before. So yeah, I'd like to see her branch out and start making some jokes that are, maybe a little bit out of her comfort zone. What are her thoughts on some things going on in the world right now? She definitely keeps her jokes very much in this circle of her life experiences. And that's great. And I think that that's a place that comedians definitely can tread in. It's something that they can have a lot of success in. But for me, I'd like to see her branch out now. She's made it. You're big. You're big, Taylor. So I'd like to see you branch out now and start finding those things that unite us as humans that maybe also can divide us. Things that we're all familiar with, things that we all have an opinion on, but maybe some divisive, risky topics. I look at Chappelle, somebody like that who's willing to take risk with his comedy. Ricky Gervais, someone who's willing to take risk with his comedy and is better for it. Comedy should be risky. Comedy should be something that runs the risk of offending. And there wasn't a lot of risk in this special. There wasn't any moment where I felt, ooh man, some people aren't gonna like that. It felt safe. Not that it wasn't funny, not that it wasn't good, because I thought it all was. Like I said, I laughed. It just felt very familiar. So for her next, so this one I think was fine. It was passable. Wasn't as good as her other Netflix special. I think this is her second one, right? I'd have to go back and look. But her next one, I'd like to see her take some risk and run that risk of offending, um, because I think comedy should be a little dangerous. I don't know. Just my take on it. Here's the problem with comedy. Comedy is so subjective. What I find hilarious, someone else might look at me and be like, "Huh? You thought that was funny?" And it's all legitimate, right? The person who laughed at the joke, there's no way of saying that person was wrong for laughing, just like there's no way of saying the person was wrong who didn't think it was funny. It's all subjective. And that's what makes comedy really difficult. And I think that's something comedians always have to wrestle with, is what can I say that can elicit the most laughs? Because you're never going to get everybody laughing. So that's just my take on it. I could be completely off base. Maybe some people watched the special and was like, man, this was good. This is my take on it. My take was it was a little too safe. Would like to see her get do some more risky material in the future. Don't set out with the intent, I'm going to offend people, but run the risk. Make some jokes that run that risk. Because I think when you do that, your comedy becomes a little more dangerous, and it becomes high risk, high reward, right? You run that risk, but you also have the reward. This is going to be really funny and really fun. So that's just my take on it. Have you guys seen the new Taylor Tomlinson Netflix special? If you have, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me here at the LQ Review. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.